Mike's life took an unexpected turn when he rescued a puppy he found in a cage on the back of a truck near a farm. The tiny, fluffy animal looked sad and malnourished, instantly tugging at Mike's heartstrings. Upon speaking to the truck's owner, he learned the puppy had been abandoned and had caused trouble at the farm by entering the chicken coop, leading to the loss of several chickens. Unable to care for the animal, the farmer had planned to have it euthanized. Moved by compassion, Mike offered to take the puppy and even paid the farmer to compensate for his losses. Mike named the puppy Lucky, and despite living in a small apartment, he quickly made space for his new companion. The bond between them grew strong, and Lucky became Mike's best friend. However, as months passed, Mike noticed Lucky's rapid growth and unusually large size. Concerned, he took him to the vet, where he discovered a shocking truth: Lucky wasn't a dog but a pure Canadian black wolf. This revelation changed everything. The vet advised Mike to contact the wildlife authority, and an inspector determined that Mike needed to move out of the city to provide proper care for Lucky. Driven by love and determination, Mike sold his home and bought a piece of land to create a safe and spacious environment for the wolf. With the help of his online supporters, Mike raised enough funds to build a proper enclosure and meet the requirements to keep Lucky legally. Their bond remained unbreakable, and Mike's dedication to Lucky inspired him to create a sanctuary for other animals in need. Today, Mike continues to care for Lucky and other rescued animals, pouring his heart into giving them a second chance at life. This incredible journey began with one simple act of kindness, forever changing Mike's life and the lives of countless animals. Life with Lucky was anything but ordinary. Despite discovering that Lucky was a wolf, not a dog, Mike's love for his companion never wavered. The two shared an unbreakable bond, and Lucky behaved more like a loyal puppy than a wild animal. He would often playfully nibble on Mike's ears, steal his hoodies for naps, and follow him everywhere. Though Lucky's size and strength made him intimidating to others, he was gentle and obedient, proving that the love and care Mike had shown him made all the difference. Living with a wolf came with challenges. Lucky needed plenty of exercise, space, and mental stimulation to thrive. To meet these needs, Mike dedicated himself to creating a safe and enriching environment. He moved out of the city and built a sanctuary where Lucky could run freely and live comfortably. However, this journey wasn't easy. Mike had to overcome financial hurdles, strict wildlife regulations, and public skepticism about keeping a wolf as a companion. The support from an online community became a lifeline. Inspired by Lucky's story, people contributed funds, encouragement, and resources to help Mike create the perfect home for his wolf. Their efforts paid off, and Lucky's new sanctuary was a testament to their bond and the kindness of strangers who believed in their unique story. Today, life with Lucky is a mix of adventure and responsibility. He remains playful and affectionate, but Mike also takes his role as a caretaker seriously. Lucky's story has inspired Mike to rescue other animals in need, expanding the sanctuary to provide a safe haven for creatures of all kinds. While Lucky's wild nature may prevent him from living completely independently, Mike has given him the next best thing: a life filled with love, freedom, and the companionship of his best friend. Discovery at the vet marked a turning point in Mike and Lucky's story. When Mike took Lucky for a routine checkup, he expected to hear about his health and perhaps some advice on managing his unusually large size. Instead, the visit brought shocking news: Lucky wasn't a dog at all but a full-blooded Canadian black wolf. The vet's revelation stunned Mike, as Lucky had always behaved like a domesticated dog, showing no signs of aggression and bonding deeply with him. The news explained many of Lucky's unique traits, including his massive size, his preference for meat, and his strikingly wild appearance. While the discovery was surprising, it also brought a new set of challenges. Mike was informed that keeping a wolf as a pet was not only unconventional but also required strict adherence to wildlife regulations. This meant contacting local authorities and making significant adjustments to provide Lucky with a suitable environment. Despite the daunting obstacles, Mike remained committed to keeping Lucky. Their bond was too strong to consider separation. With advice from the vet and support from wildlife officials, Mike began the process of transforming his life to accommodate the needs of a wild animal. This included relocating to a larger property, building a secure enclosure, and preparing for inspections to meet legal requirements. While the revelation at the vet was unexpected, it reinforced Mike's determination to ensure Lucky's well-being. For Mike, Lucky wasn't just a wolf, he was family, and no challenge would stand in the way of their life together. The discovery that Lucky was a wolf brought a cascade of challenges for Mike. Wildlife regulations were strict, and keeping a wild animal like Lucky required meeting stringent legal and environmental standards. Mike quickly learned that his current living arrangements in the city were unsuitable for a wolf. His residential backyard was not equipped to provide the space and security necessary for such a large and powerful animal. The local wildlife authority stepped in, requiring Mike to either surrender Lucky or prove he could care for him responsibly. This meant building a specialized enclosure that would not only keep Lucky safe but also protect the people and animals around him. The enclosure needed to mimic a natural habitat, be large enough to allow Lucky to roam freely, and be escape-proof. Meeting these requirements was an overwhelming task, especially since Mike had already spent most of his savings buying a property outside the city to provide Lucky with more space. On top of the financial burden, Mike had to navigate the legal bureaucracy. He was required to register as a licensed animal caretaker, a process that involved rigorous inspections and extensive paperwork. The deadlines were tight, and the wildlife inspector made it clear that failure to comply would result in Lucky being taken away. Faced with these pressures, Mike considered giving up. The thought of losing Lucky was unbearable, but the resources required seemed insurmountable. However, Mike's love for Lucky and his determination to provide him with a safe and happy life pushed him to persevere. He reached out to friends and shared his story online, hoping for advice and support. Unexpectedly, Mike's story resonated with thousands of people. Donations poured in, and volunteers offered their skills and time to help him build the necessary enclosure. Even the wildlife inspector, moved by the bond between Mike and Lucky, contributed to the cause. With the support of a growing community, Mike was able to meet every regulation and secure the permits needed to keep Lucky legally. Though the process was exhausting, it marked a triumph for both man and wolf. Lucky could stay with the person who loved him most, and Mike emerged from the ordeal not just as Lucky's caretaker, but as an advocate for animals in need. As Mike's story spread, the community's support became a lifeline for him and Lucky. Local animal lovers, construction experts, and even students eager to help offered their time and skills. Donations of materials like fencing, lumber, and landscaping supplies poured in, and a team of volunteers worked tirelessly to build Lucky's new habitat. The enclosure, situated on Mike's newly acquired property, was designed to mimic a natural forest environment. It included trees for shade, a small pond for water, and enough space for Lucky to roam and explore freely. Wildlife experts who had heard about Lucky's story offered their advice on creating an environment that would meet the needs of a wolf while ensuring safety and compliance with regulations. In addition to the physical support, the emotional encouragement from the community kept Mike motivated. Letters and messages from people inspired by his bond with Lucky flooded in. Some shared their own stories of rescue animals, while others simply expressed admiration for Mike's perseverance. It was clear that Lucky had become a symbol of hope and compassion for many. When the wildlife inspector returned for the final inspection, they were impressed by the transformation. Not only was the enclosure well built and secure, but it also reflected the love and care of an entire community. With a nod of approval, the inspector handed Mike the official permit to keep Lucky. Cheers erupted from the volunteers who had gathered to witness the moment. The community's support didn't end there. A local news station covered the story, bringing more attention to the importance of animal rescue and responsible care. Inspired by Mike's efforts, a group of volunteers even started a local wildlife rescue organization, aiming to help others in similar situations. For Mike, the experience was life-changing. What began as a simple act of kindness, saving a lost puppy, had grown into a movement that united people around a common cause. Lucky, once an abandoned and vulnerable wolf pup, was now a symbol of resilience and the power of community. As Mike watched Lucky thrive in his new home, he knew he could never have done it alone. Together, with the support of people who cared, they had not only saved a life but also built a legacy of compassion that would inspire others for years to come. With Lucky's habitat complete, Mike's vision expanded. Inspired by the overwhelming community support, he began to dream of a larger sanctuary, a place where animals like Lucky, unable to return to the wild, could find safety and care. He envisioned a space where education and conservation efforts would go hand in hand, fostering a deeper understanding of wildlife and the delicate balance of coexistence. Mike started by reaching out to experts, seeking guidance on what it would take to establish a fully operational wildlife sanctuary. Biologists, conservationists, and veterinarians offered their insights, and Mike began drafting plans for enclosures that could house other rescued animals. Each space was carefully designed to replicate natural environments while ensuring the safety of both animals and visitors. The first major challenge was securing funding. Mike launched a crowdfunding campaign, sharing Lucky's story and his vision for the sanctuary. To his surprise, the response was phenomenal. Donations poured in from around the country, along with messages of encouragement. Local businesses pledged their support, offering materials, equipment, and even volunteers to help bring the project to life. Construction began with Lucky's expanded enclosure at the heart of the sanctuary. Around it, additional habitats were built for animals that Mike hoped to rescue in the future. A visitor center was also planned, designed to educate the public about wildlife conservation. Workshops, guided tours, and interactive exhibits would give people a chance to learn about the animals and the importance of protecting their natural habitats. As the sanctuary took shape, Lucky became its unofficial ambassador. Videos of him exploring his new enclosure, interacting with Mike, and enjoying his safe haven were shared on social media, drawing even more attention to the project. The local school district expressed interest in partnering with the sanctuary, incorporating field trips and educational programs into their curriculum. Months of hard work paid off when the sanctuary officially opened its doors. On opening day, hundreds of people gathered to celebrate, many of whom had been part of the journey. Families, educators, and wildlife enthusiasts explored the sanctuary, learning about its mission and the stories of the animals it housed. For Mike, the moment was surreal. What had started as a single act of rescue had grown into a sanctuary that symbolized hope and compassion. As he stood by Lucky's enclosure, watching the wolf enjoy his newfound freedom, Mike felt a deep sense of fulfillment. Lucky's journey had come full circle, and in the process, he had inspired a movement that would protect and nurture countless animals for years to come. The sanctuary wasn't just a home for wildlife, it was a testament to what could be achieved when people came together for a common purpose. For Mike and Lucky, it marked the beginning of a new chapter, one filled with promise, purpose, and the unshakable bond they shared. With the sanctuary established, Mike realized that the work was far from over. The success of the sanctuary's opening day was only the beginning of a lifelong mission. Caring for rescued animals required continuous resources, dedication, and innovation. Mike and his team committed themselves to making the sanctuary a hub for both conservation and education. One of their first goals was to expand the sanctuary's capacity. The initial enclosures were built with Lucky and a handful of other animals in mind, but calls for new rescues were increasing. Each week brought new challenges: injured owls, displaced foxes, or animals confiscated from illegal wildlife trades. Mike prioritized partnerships with other sanctuaries and wildlife organizations, creating a network that ensured every animal in need had a place to go, even if it wasn't at his sanctuary. Education became the cornerstone of the sanctuary's mission. Mike launched programs for local schools, inviting students to learn about wildlife conservation through hands-on experiences. Guided tours allowed visitors to see the animals up close and understand the importance of preserving their habitats. To reach a broader audience, the team started producing online content, including documentaries and live streams featuring Lucky and his animal companions. Future plans also included research initiatives. Mike envisioned the sanctuary as a place where biologists and conservationists could study animal behavior and rehabilitation techniques. Collaborating with universities, the team hoped to contribute to broader conservation efforts by developing innovative methods for reintroducing animals to the wild whenever possible. Financial sustainability was another critical focus. Mike worked with his team to develop long-term revenue streams, including sponsorship programs where donors could adopt an animal and contribute to its care. Seasonal events, like wildlife photography workshops and eco-tours, brought in additional funds while promoting community engagement. Lucky, as always, remained at the heart of everything. His story continued to inspire people worldwide, and his role as the sanctuary's ambassador grew. Children visiting the sanctuary often left with plush toys modeled after Lucky, along with stories of his rescue and the broader mission of the sanctuary. Looking ahead, Mike dreamed of establishing satellite sanctuaries in other regions, each tailored to the specific wildlife of the area. He also hoped to create mobile rescue units equipped to provide on-site care for animals in emergencies. His ultimate goal was to build a network of sanctuaries that work together to protect endangered species and educate future generations about the importance of conservation. Though the challenges were immense, Mike faced them with unwavering determination. Each animal rescued, each child inspired, and each habitat preserved reminded him of why he had started this journey. The sanctuary wasn't just a place for animals to find safety, it was a beacon of hope, showing what was possible when passion and community came together for the greater good. As the sun set over the sanctuary one evening, Mike stood by Lucky's enclosure, watching the wolf roam freely in his expansive home. He thought about how far they had come and the possibilities that lay ahead. With a deep breath and a smile, he whispered, "This is just the beginning." The story of Lucky and Mike's sanctuary soon became a symbol of hope and resilience, touching the hearts of people far beyond their small town. Local media first picked up the tale, highlighting the incredible journey of a man and a wolf defying the odds. From there, the story went viral, spreading across social media and reaching international audiences. Visitors began traveling from distant cities, and even other countries, to see the sanctuary and meet Lucky, whose calm demeanor and playful antics charmed everyone he encountered. Children were particularly captivated, often clutching their Lucky-themed storybooks or wearing t-shirts with his image. For many, seeing Lucky was more than just meeting an animal, it was an experience that opened their eyes to the beauty and vulnerability of the natural world. Inspired by Lucky's story, many individuals and groups began taking action in their own communities. Schools started wildlife conservation clubs, neighborhoods organized cleanup drives to protect local habitats, and families made donations to support endangered species. Mike received countless letters and emails from people sharing how Lucky had inspired them to make a difference. Beyond the local impact, the sanctuary's message reached influential organizations and individuals. Wildlife advocates, conservationists, and even celebrities lent their voices to amplify the cause. One well-known filmmaker offered to create a documentary about the sanctuary, bringing professional-grade storytelling to Lucky's journey and the broader mission of conservation. The documentary not only won awards but also raised significant funds for the sanctuary's expansion. Mike's dedication and the sanctuary's success also influenced policy changes. Local lawmakers, moved by the sanctuary's work, passed stricter regulations against illegal wildlife trafficking and allocated funding for conservation projects. The sanctuary became a trusted advisor on environmental issues, with Mike regularly invited to speak at conferences and events to share his insights. Perhaps the most profound impact was on the younger generation. Seeing Mike's unwavering commitment inspired children to dream big and take action, whether by pursuing careers in environmental science or simply becoming advocates for wildlife in their communities. The sanctuary's education programs became a model replicated by other organizations, ensuring that Lucky's legacy would continue to inspire for years to come. For Mike, the real reward lay in the quiet moments, watching a previously injured hawk take its first flight in the open sky, seeing children's eyes light up during a tour, or hearing stories of how Lucky had changed someone's life. The sanctuary wasn't just a place for animals, it had become a sanctuary for people, too, a place where hope and action converged to create a brighter future. As the years passed, Lucky's story grew into something much larger than one man or one wolf. It became a movement, a reminder that even the smallest acts of kindness could ripple outward, creating waves of change. For every challenge they faced, Mike and his team found strength in the community they had built, a community united by their love for wildlife and their shared belief in the power of compassion. And as Lucky lay in his enclosure one evening, resting peacefully under the stars, it was clear that his journey had not just saved his life but had also ignited a fire in the hearts of people everywhere. His story, and the sanctuary built in his name, would continue to inspire generations to protect and cherish the natural world.